Yep. Is this anyway, eh? Talking to our imaginary friend Emily again. Alright, welcome. If you're joining us live, welcome on into Pilates. So this is one of my favourite Pilates because it involves the plank challenge. So it's that super long, it means I need to get my timer out. We have that super long plank challenge where we essentially see if we can stay in plank for about 10 minutes, all in different forms of plank. So that'll be a hoot. I noticed the note says 6 to 8 minutes, but I'm sure we can do more. If you haven't seen it so far as well, we've got 2 events this weekend. We have got Heroes for Heroes, so we will be doing a superhero themed Saturday morning. We're going to have Chris and Jen in their finest fancy dress, and that class is £5, and that's a way of saying thanks to all our superheroes for keeping the country ticking over, all our key workers and the NHS, and we're also raising money for Sheffield Children's Charity. We also have a workshop on gut health, which is also saving money for Sheffield Charities. Sheffield Children's Charity. There we go, got it out eventually. And gut health is just so important, particularly basically everything. It is just the one. We've got a fantastic nutritionist we're working with who's going to be running that workshop. So that's Sunday at 10 AM and is 100% worth tuning into. So many of problems that people tend to experience are often linked to gut health. It's also really important for immunity and energy and well-being, so definitely worth checking out that. And I think that's it for public service announcements. It's also my birthday on Sunday. That is less exciting really for most of the population, but I'm excited. I've ordered quite a lot of stuff online recently, but I'm also aware that I've had presents. So I've just got this giant collection of boxes, some of which are probably going to be really boring things like loo roll. But on my birthday I'm not going to know which is which. So I think it's going to be pretty exciting really. Just opening a box. Oh, it's toothpaste. But was that a gift from my mum or from myself? So lots of exciting things in the pipeline. Ooh. So if you're watching on Facebook or you can, or any of our other platforms, you can check us out on www.rise.co.uk/online. That's when you'll get our live streaming, and you can also jump into our virtual studio. On our virtual studio, I get to see you on a lovely big screen in front of me, and you also get our funky tunes. It's also really good. I know I've definitely been enjoying during the Zoom classes, because it means when you have that urge to go make a cuppa halfway through, you know that someone's watching, so you can't. So I've definitely found I'm getting a lot more out of online classes when doing it by Zoom. I've had the voice of God in my head telling me to tidy up because I'm looking scruffy. I mean, we got it when we first opened the studio and we got an Alexa in, and Chris did occasionally talk to us randomly, being like, ladies, this is the voice of God. Zoning in. Oh, happy times. Right. So we've got 2 minutes to go. So, and this is Pilates. So, as always, lots of focus on abs, on glutes, a little bit of flexibility at work as well. And this is our plank challenge sequence. So this is when we got super strong in the upper body. And we've got lots of work on the glutes as well. So a nice little bit of glutes to start with. And of course, we work on the lower abs as well. Of course, if you do ever have any questions or anything else after class, any moves you didn't quite get, or any questions about how you might be able to modify a pose, how it's meant to feel, do feel free to be in touch, drop us a message. We're super keen to hear from you guys. Just let us know how you're getting on. So Pilates. Sorry? Yes. Ah, right. So if you are joining via Zoom, we have a waiting room after we got Zoom bombed, as the new sensation, sweeping the nation. So you'll be in the waiting room to start off with, and then you'll be let in. So just a few people in the waiting room there. I think I can let them in. Oh, here we go with the tech. We've got now so many monitors up. It's one of those things where you keep losing the. I've lost the mouse. Where is it? We've got 3 different screens it could be hiding on. How do I find it? Oh, there it is. Got it. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm going. Look at me go. Okay, we're admitting some people in. We've got Jackie and John. Thanks for the reminder. So, welcome on into Zoom. Oh, we've got 11 seconds to go. Everyone look busy. We're about to get started. So, coming on down, and we'll get started lying down on our backs. So, you're all super welcome on in to Pilates this evening. Thanks for joining. If you want to come on down and find your way into a supine bound angle, we'll get started there. So, soles of the feet together, knees fall out wide. Thinking about having a little play with whether the feet are closer or further from the hips. Letting the shoulders release down the back. Of course, if you prefer, you can let the feet be on the outside of the mat and the knees knock in, or you can spread the legs out long on the mat. Whatever at all feels good for you. We're just aiming to feel some space start to come into the hips, letting the shoulders relax, and finding the breath. Deep, full breaths in and out. So deep breaths into the lower belly, into the back body. Feeling how that breath just brings a little more space into the torso. Letting the eyes and the jaw and the face soften. The shoulders relax. So if you've not done Pilates before, Pilates is all about slow, controlled, squeezy movements. We're focusing on finding muscular engagement. We're focusing on strengthening the abdominals, as well as also the glutes and the quads, also really important in spinal health. A little bit of work for upper body as well. So general body conditioning, but with a particular focus on a healthy spine. When you're ready, just taking 3 more deep breaths in and out. Deep, full inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. And from there, drawing the knees towards each other. Starting to give yourself a little squeeze, a little stretch, a little wiggle. And then planting the soles of the feet down on the floor. The knees are in the air, the back of the neck is long. Starting to find a nice light engagement through the abdominals. So if you draw the tummy in really tight and then slowly start to release, you want to find that point where you've got a nice little squeeze through the abs. You can still breathe, you can still move. From there, dynamic bridge, grounding down, big toe, little toe, heel, knees stay in line with ankles, in line with hips. You're rolling the spine away from the floor, vertebra by vertebra, and then very slowly rolling down, really squeezing the abdominals in. So you want to feel like you're picking the spine up, centimetre by centimetre, slowly rolling up, really slowly rolling down. Focusing on that engagement through the core, focusing on that alignment of knees over ankles in line with hips, lifting And very, very, very slowly lowering. So you're thinking about using the glutes here, little squeeze of the glutes as you power up. So squeezing the abs as you lower. If you want to add in the arms, feel free, letting the arms float up over the head. The shoulders will roll down the back, so we're finding mobility through the shoulders. And then rolling back down with control. Inhaling to ripple and flow up. Exhale, slowly release. One more time, inhale. Rolling all the way up. Exhaling, slowly releasing back down. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little stretch, a little wiggle. And from there, we're going to move into a little bridge exercise. So this first part of class, we've got a lot of focus on the glutes. So left foot is going to extend to the sky, flexing that left foot if you can, or pointing the toes to energize the muscles of the leg. Right foot grounds, we're going to squeeze the glutes, press the hips up high, and then slowly lower down. So really powerful. Keep knee, ankle, hip in alignment, lifting just as far as you can, and lowering. If that's too much, you can take the left heel in towards the bum, so the left knee is bent, and you're just working there with a bent leg. So reducing that lever length makes it slightly less demanding for the muscles to lift and lower. When you lift and lower, the key thing we're aiming for is keeping knee, ankle, hip in alignment as we power up, engaging the core to slowly lower. Thinking about squeezing the glutes, squeezing the abs. So working a single leg bridge here, one side of the body doing all of the work of that lifting and lowering, so we're really powering into that side of the body. Two more on this side. Powerful squeezy lift, slow controlled lower, using the abs. One more time, lift, lift, lift and squeeze, and lower. Swapping sides, left foot grounds, right foot up. Remember you can have a bend at the knee, so find your option. And when you're ready, power and lift up, squeeze, and control that lower. You're thinking about maintaining big toe, little toe, heel, all four corners of the feet grounding as you lift. Powering up and lowering. Remember you can have a bend in that right leg. Remember Pilates, we're all about control. So don't feel like you've got to work towards depth, don't think you've got to work towards speed. We're looking to find that nice controlled squeezing movement. Working to the quads and the glutes here, really important muscles for knee health, for lower back health. Getting some space in the front side of the body as well. And we're using the abdominals, a really key part of spinal health, to control that lower. Working here for another 3, powering up and lowering, 2. One more, lift and lower. Well done. Plant the right foot down. Left ankle now comes onto the right knee. And we're going to take the hands through and find just a little supine pigeon, a supine figure of 4 stretch. So the hands can come through to the right shin, or if that's better for you, down the back of the right leg. We're just aiming to find a lovely stretch right down through the back of the left leg. Shoulders down the back, deep breaths in. And down. So shoulders relaxing, we're stretching to the back of the left leg. Inhaling. Exhaling for 3, deep breaths in. And 2. One more, inhale. And exhale, release. Just quick swap over. Right ankle onto left knee and taking the hands through to the back of that left leg. So we're finding a little bit of space there, a nice little stretch down the back of the right leg. Deep breaths in. And out. So soft through the shoulders, letting the spine extend. Full steady breaths in. And out for 3. Inhaling. Exhaling 2. So long through the spine, shoulders down the back. One more, inhale. And exhale, release. Nice work. Alright, second set of bridge. Right foot is going to ground, left ankle is onto the right knee. Palms face down, off we go. We're going to squeeze, power up with the glutes, really feel the energy and power there, and then really slowly lower down, vertebra by vertebra. So we're thinking about power and strength as you lift up, squeeze up, and then you're engaging the core, vertebra by vertebra. We really use the abdominals to control that release back down. Shoulders are staying relaxed. Finding power as you lift. Engaging the core, really slow to lower. Thinking about that squeeze of the glutes at the top. Thinking about engaging to lower. We're just going to work here. We're focusing on control. We're continuing to work into that right quad and that right glute as we find space in the hip for another 3. Well done. Slow lowers and lifts. 2. And 1. Swapping over. Left foot grounds. Right ankle onto left knee. Opening up through that right hip. Off we go. So we're powerfully pressing on up. Squeezing up. And slowly lowering down. Thinking about the back of the neck staying long. Thinking about that energy. So remember, Pilates, we're not just thinking about the external image of the movement. It's more about that sensation. We're finding that squeeze, knee, ankle, hip in alignment, and we're using the abdominals to lower. So we really want to focus on what the muscles are doing, what the muscles are feeling, rather than how a pose looks. Finding that power. Remembering to breathe as well. Breath a really good guide of how you're doing. If you find that you're starting to hold your breath, feel free to take a little rest or take it down less level. Working here for another 3. Powerful squeezy lift. And lower. 2. And 1. Releasing the feet back down to the mat. From there, we're going to take the left ankle to the right knee again. And we're going to take a little bit of an ab exercise here, so taking it away from the lower body a little bit. Taking the hands behind the back of the neck, or the fingertips behind the ears. We're going to take chin to chest squeeze, and we're going to take the left elbow over to the right knee, and then we're going to slowly lower back down again. So grounding down, we're going to inhale and exhale, crunch, and come back down. So just taking your own level. If that's too much for you, you can take a chin to chest, just a little curl up instead with the hands out in front of you. Or if you find that's too much for the neck, heels can come to the bum and you can take a reverse curl instead. So that puts the work into the lower body and takes any work away from the neck. So lots of options there. We're thinking about squeezing chin to chest and taking that little cross crunch and then returning down with control. So inhaling, lifting, opposite elbow to knee. We're getting some work into the side body, into the obliques. The hips stay grounded. Inhaling and exhale. Squeeze, 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 cross. And lower. So remember, we're lowering and lifting with control. Working here for 5. So squeezy lift. And slow lower. 4. Well done, we got this. 3. 2. 1 more. And release. Well done. Left foot down, right ankle comes onto left knee. Once again, we're opening out through the hips, finding that strength. Same again, chin to chest, and lifting, crossing, opposite elbow to knee, slowly returning. We're getting a nice little bit of passive opening through the hips as well here, so chin to chest, squeeze, cross, and lower. So, acute chin to chest, and then curl, head last thing to come down. That's because we don't want to feel like we're jerking the neck. We want to feel like we've got chin to chest first, and then it's the abdominals that's working that lift. So it's the squeezing of the abs that's controlling that lift. We're not moving the head so much as contracting the abdominals, the muscles of the front side of the body, and that is creating that little curl up. Working to the side body as well with this little half twist, working here for 5. Inhale and exhaling 4. Squeezing to cross 3. We got this. 2. And 1. Release. Give yourself a little squeeze there, a little stretch. Taking the hands to the knees. We're drawing some big sweeping circles with the knees just away from each other and back towards each other. Alright, we're going to bring the lower body back into action here. Ground down with the feet, press the hips up high. We're back into a bridge pose. Squeezing the glutes, find that power. Right foot to the sky. From there, we're going to lower and lift that right leg. So nice and slow and controlled. If that's too much, hips can ground and you can work with the hips grounded. Of course, in either of these variations, if you need a bend in that right knee, feel free. So up high or down low with the hips. The hips are up high, we're focusing on stabilising left knee, ankle and hip and glute. We're slowly, slowly, slowly lowering, powerfully lifting. Working the abdominals and the quads for 5. So lifting and lowering, focusing on that strong core. 4. Well done. 3. 2. And swapping over, so both feet ground. Press back up to the bridge, find that power. Left foot to the sky, and we're lowering and lifting the left leg. Remember, option, ground the hips down, lower lift there. Option to have a bend in that left leg. Remember, you only need to lower and lift the hips as far as feels good for you. So if that left foot's in the sky and you're just taking a tiny little micro lift and lower, that's awesome. If you can come deeper, that's awesome as well. Just work at your level, thinking about slow, controlled movements, thinking about keeping those hips powering high. We're working here for 5. Slow, controlled movements. Squeeze the glutes, lift and lower. 4. Well done. 3. Keep lifting and powering up. 2. And 1. Release. Well done. A little hug in, little rock and roll. And from there, just one more little abs exercise before we come up. Single leg extension. So we're hugging in with the left leg, extending out with right, and swapping over. So the lower back is on the floor. We're stretching out with one leg, hugging in the opposite knee. So whenever the lower back, the legs off the floor in Pilates, we want the lower back on the floor. So make sure you've got the abs switched on here. We're lowering, lifting, extending, just as far as feels good. So it could just be a little half extension. If you want to, make this harder. We're taking chin to chest, squeezing the abs, and we're working with the shoulders off the mat. It's the abs that are powering that lift. We've got chin to chest, really strong and controlled. Making sure you're not rocking from side to side. We're extending, drawing in. If you want more, arms over the head. We're extending the arms over the head, shoulders down, and we're extending, coming back up. Really strong through the core. Keeping chin to chest. Hands can come behind the back of the head if you prefer. We want to make sure we've not got any strain at all through the neck. Working here for 5. Squeezing the core. 4. Well done. 3. Making sure those shoulders are gliding down the back. 2. And 1. Hug both knees in. Little rock and roll, little stretch. And from there we're going to rock all the way up to a seated position. Awesome stuff. So coming in to your table pose. So work the lower half of the body and the lower abdominals really hard. We're now going to get into our plank. So this is the plank challenge. We're going to be in plank for quite a long time. Don't worry, we are going to do different types of plank, so you won't even notice. So hang on in there for as long as you like, as long as you can. Remember, all of these can be taken from the knees. So before we get started, just remember, if I'm saying plank, you could be in table. If I'm saying side plank, you could take a side plank and vice versa. Okay, so when you're ready, I'm turning on the timer. Let's go. Find your way into a plank to start off with. So the fingers are spread out wide, the core is engaged, hips are in line with the shoulders if you can. Try to avoid letting them droop or pike. Make sure the hands are underneath the shoulders and you're not sticking the bum into the air. So if you look down, make sure that you've got those hands underneath the shoulders. If the hands are in front of the shoulders, that's going to make it harder work for the abdominals. So you don't quite need to be there yet. Strong through the core, pressing really hard with the hands into the mat. Make sure you're gripping with the fingertips and pressing into the second knuckle. So we're taking the weight away from the heels of the hands. Working here for 5, deep breaths in, and out 4. So we've been up in our plank for 45 seconds already. 3, 2, and 1. Forearm plank, so coming down onto the elbows. So making sure the toes are grounded. Again, try to keep the hips low. Elbows are underneath the shoulders. Almost imagining you're ripping the mat apart with the feet. It can be more comfortable here if you gaze between the fingers, crown of the head long, so we don't want to strain the neck. Strong through the abs here, so think about turning on those abs, will really help. Working here, powering the elbows into the mat, working on the shoulder strength here as well as the abs for 5. Deep breaths in and out. 4. Well done. Inhaling, exhaling, 3, 2, and 1. Find your way up to plank, taking it into a side plank here. So left hand is under the left shoulder, rotating open, right hand to the sky. If you want to take a kneeling side plank or plant the right foot down on top or on the top of the mat, any other variations you've got, feel free. Thinking about extending those hips up really high, squeezing the core, opening out through the heart space. Really power and lift up, stretch up, working here. So work on the side body and the arms for 5. Well done, you got this. 4. Perfect. Press those hips up high. 3, 2, and 1 onto the other side. So left hand under left shoulder, find that alignment. Right hand up to the sky. Remember, you can have the feet stacking, feet implanted, or you can take this top foot, the left foot, ground it down and use that for support. So we're taking our side plank on the other side. We're maintaining that sense of opening through the chest, keeping pressing the hip up high. Doing really well. We've been in a plank for 2.5 minutes. So smashing it, well done. Keep pressing up, lifting up. Working here for 5. So we're working on the upper abs here particularly, as well as the arm strength. 4. Well done. 3, 2, and 1. Find your way back to plank. From there, we're finding our way into a panther. So we're going to hover the knees just an inch or so off the mat, pressing the hands really hard into the mat, squeezing the core. So our panther pose fires up the quads. So you should be feeling a really great sense of strength in the quads there, making sure the shoulders are over the hands still, trying to avoid piking the hips, pressing really hard with the hands into the mat. Remember, you're gripping the mat with the fingers, working there, strong, squeeze the abs in. 5, 4, hang on in there. 3, 2, and 1. From there, find your way to plank, and we're going to bring in a little bit of speed. We're going to take plank taps. So we're going to go from plank, hiking the hips up to a dog, squeezing the core. So a little bit of a rest from that static hold, from that isometric work. We'll take a little bit of dynamic stretching. So hips up high and tap the toes. If that's too much, you can move between a dog and a plank. If you can, we're taking opposite hand towards the foot. Doesn't matter if it doesn't already touch. We're finding a lovely bit of work for the abs here. Nice little bit of stretch through the backs of the legs as well. Working here. 5. Woo, well done. 4, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Find your way to a forearm side plank. So we're taking the weight off the wrists. Left elbow is going to come down. Left forearm extends. Right hand to the sky. Pressing the hips up high. Right hand lifts. Lifting up, stretching up. If you need to plant a knee down, you're very welcome to do that. So you can plant a knee down for support. If you can, we're lifting, stretching up. We're getting into the side body for 3, 2, 1. Take it over. Right elbow under right shoulder. Left hand to the sky. If you need to drop a knee down, you can just drop, extend a knee out in front of you, and that takes some of the weight. Pressing up high with the hips. Deep breaths in. And now you're doing a cracking job. We've been in a plank for 5 minutes already. Well done. 3, 2, and 1. Come back to your full plank. Hands underneath the shoulders, squeezing in the core. Knee drive. So we're going to drive the knee into the chest. Drive the knee into the chest. Taking it slow and controlled. You can work this from the knees if you need to. Thinking about pressing really hard with the hands to the mat. Squeezing the abdominals as you drive the knees into the chest. Working here for 5, 4. Well done. 3, 2, and find your way to a forearm plank. So we're back into a forearm plank, and we're going to take a jacksaw. So we're going to use the toes to move the body weight forwards and backwards. A really great one for the abdominals, for the shoulders. Hang on in there. If you need to hold a kneeling forearm plank, that's absolutely fine. Working here with power, with strength for 5. Just a little rock forwards and backwards. 4. Doing really well. 3, 2, and 1. All right, find your way up to plank again. From there, we're going to come into a side plank, right hand to the sky, or a kneeling side plank. So you can take this from kneeling as well if you prefer. We're going to lift and lower that top leg. So you can take that from a full side plank or from a kneeling side plank. We're lifting and lowering that top leg, entirely up to you.
Working here for 5. We're almost done. You're doing really well. Keep powering and lifting. 4. Squeezing the core, working to the side body. 3. Extend that right foot. 2. And take that on the other side. We got this. You can do this onto the other side. Remember, a kneeling kneeling side plank is fine. We're going to lower and lift that left foot. It looks kneeling, exactly the same. Just lowering and lifting. So we're working on stability, on strength, on power for 5. Really flex out that right foot. Lift up, stretch up. 4. Well done. 3. Almost there. 2. And 1. Nice work. All right, back to the forearms. Take the weight off the wrists. We're into a forearm plank. Remember, you can hold. If you can, we're going to roll the hips from side to side. So many plank variations, I know. Oh, so much can be done with a plank. We could be here for hours. Don't worry, we won't. Elbows press into mat. We're just going to lift and lower the hips from side to side. Squeezing the core. Focusing on that energy through the side body. Working here for 5. 4. Doing really well. 8 minutes now. 3. 2. 1. Back up to a plank. All right, final little push. We can do this. Knees if you need to. If you take the feet wider, that's going to help with stability here. Shoulder taps. We're going to tap one shoulder, tap the other shoulder. Slow and controlled as much as you can, trying not to pike the hips. Keeping the core really engaged. Working here for 5. Slow and controlled. 4, 3, 2, and 1. From there, we're going to walk the hands back towards the feet. This is our final little move. Find your way into a floppy forward fold. You can spend as long as you like here. You can take one hand in one elbow, one in the other. Or if you'd like to take it further, walking the hands forwards into a plank again. Maybe taking a little tricep press up. If you're feeling fiery, keeping those hips up high, stretching through the back body, walking the hands forwards, finding that lovely flow, finding that power. Nice work. Working here, little forwards and backwards movements for 5. Well done. So you can hold it in that floppy forward fold if you need to. 4. Keep the core tight. Absolutely amazing work. 3. Nice. 2. And 1. Well done. Little floppy forward fold, little shake out, little wiggle, little shake. And from there, chin to chest, roll all the way up. Shoulders down the back. And come into the centre of your mat. All right, smashed it team. That was a 9-minute plank. And give yourself a high 5. It's awesome work. Right, from here, we're just going to take a nice little balance exercise to take some of that weight away from the upper body. So right foot is going to ground. Left foot is coming out behind you. The left glute is engaged. Shoulders down the back. Palms are facing down. Inhale. And exhale. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Seesawing forward just as much as you can. And then we're going to lift up. If you're feeling it, maybe a little knee drive. So we're thinking about slowly engage that left glute, the toes, stretching forward. You might be able to come all the way down. You should be finding a nice little stretch down the back of the right hamstring, lifting up. So into a nice, slow moving balance. We're focusing on building strength in that standing leg. And we're grounding down, big toe, little toe, heel. And we're finding flexibility as well. So we're driving on up, squeezing up, shoulders down the back. And slowly with control, engaging that left glute, coming back down. Nice work. So thinking about power, thinking about that strength in the abdominals. Shoulders are rolling down the back. Just another 3. So moving balance, a really great strengthening exercise and a great way to focus on injury prevention and balance in other activities. 2. Drive that knee up. And 1. All right, resetting. Left side, so moving the awareness and the weight into that left foot. Right foot is going to extend. Remember, the right glute is engaged, the shoulders down the back, palms are facing down, core is engaged. Inhale and exhale, slowly seesawing forwards and driving on up. So thinking about just extending out, almost like you're just seesawing forwards, trying to keep that hip steering down, and slowly squeezing your way up, little knee drive at the top. Make sure the shoulders stay relaxed. So we're focusing on posture here as well as that balance. Extend that right leg, squeeze, drive on up. Great stuff. Nice work. Working here for 5. So slowly extending, squeezing the core, driving on up. Perfect. 4. Inhaling. Exhaling. Just a nice little slow down after that fiery plank sequence. 3. Driving on up. 2. And 1. Come up to standing. So giving yourself a little squeeze, shake out, little stretch out. Awesome stuff. From here, we're going to come to the back of our mat. I've been looking forward to this. This is an exercise which I have to admit I find really hard, but I enjoy. So we're going to come down into our little low squat. The hips are out behind us, strong through the core. And we're going to take a little duck walk. So the feet can be slightly further out here. We're just going to stay low, and we're going to walk forwards, staying low. And then we're going to walk it back. So we're staying low. So think duck, quack, quack. Staying low. So if it feels quite easy, you can come even lower. So you're aiming to stay low all the time, keeping the core engaged, the hips out behind you. So essentially it's a bit of a moving squat. If you just want to stop and hold the squat, that's fine. Stay low, keep that strength in the core. So it's a nice little way, we're almost working balance as well as working into the quads and in the glutes. Just keep that strength of length in the back body. Maybe seeing if you can stay low. Perfect. So just nice little walk forwards and back. It's a really nice exercise. There's lots of exercises you can do while you're waiting for the kettle to boil. This is quite a fun one just to try and walk up and down the kitchen, staying low when you're waiting for your brew. Nice little way just to strengthen the quads. Working here for 3. Staying low. 2. And 1. Powering up when you're ready. And give yourself a little shake out. Well done. We'll just give the quads a little stretch here, so static balance. Moving the weight into the right foot, we're going to lift the left heel up towards the bum. Pressing the hips forwards, and then turning the left toes down towards the mat. So we're aiming to find a stretch through the back of that left leg. Keeping the spine long, the shoulders down the back. So we're stretching down the front of that left leg. Right foot is grounded for 3. Just in that quick little stretch. Squeeze the glutes, press the hips forward if you're not feeling it. 2. And 1. Swapping over, left foot down. Right foot is coming up. Ooh. Wiggle wobble. Hips are pressing forwards and letting the toes come down to the mat. So we're stretching into the front of the right leg now. Deep breaths in. And out for 3. Deep full breaths. 2. And 1. Release. Well done. From there, little shakaroo. And when you're ready, rolling on down. Don't worry, no more planks. We are, however, going to find ourselves into a plank and then come all the way down onto our tummies. So starting off, just a little bit of flexibility and strengthening work for the back here, and then we're going to come down to some more abs to finish. So elbows underneath the shoulders, just thinking about the chest lifting, reaching through the arms, the shoulders rolling down the back. So we're just aiming to find a lovely little stretch through the spine. So elbows can move forwards if you're not quite feeling it. That's too much, sorry, and if you want to take it deeper, elbows move back. Inhaling, exhaling. Just taking 1 more deep breath in. And from there, we're just going to take the palms out behind us, engage the core, inhale and exhale. Lift the feet, lift the hands, little bit of back strengthening here, just a little static hold. We're powering the legs up high, the hands out behind us. We squeeze the shoulder blades together, stretch, 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 squeeze 3, lift, 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 2, power, 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 and 1, release. Lower down, and when you're ready, once again, lift, squeeze the glutes, power the feet out behind you, lift, 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 squeeze 3, power 2, work into the back body, and 1. Hands on the shoulders, press up to kneeling. And we're going to take a shoulder stretch. So we're going to take the right palm face up, right shoulder down onto the mat, and let the left hand walk out in front of you. So we're just taking a little stretch to the shoulders, inhaling and exhaling. So stretching into that right shoulder, just letting the spine stretch out. Deep, steady inhales and exhales for 3. Deep, full breaths, 2. One more, inhale. Exhale. Coming back through centre there, left palm faces up. Right hand is going to walk out in front of you. We're stretching out. Deep, full breaths in. And so releasing through the lower back, through the left shoulder for 3. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Slowly release into the lower back. One more, inhale. Exhale. And roll on up there. And we are swinging both legs out in front of us. So double bend is side leg forward fold, soft bend through the knees to start off with. Inhale, lifting up, angling the body forwards, and we're finding a forward fold. So any variations of your forward fold, whatever works for you, we're just stretching forwards, reaching forwards, inhaling and exhaling. So thinking about extending out through the lumbar spine, letting the head relax, the shoulders relax. Deep, full breaths in and out for 3. So releasing into the lower back, inhaling, exhaling, finding space in the lower back. 2. One more, inhale, exhale. From there we're going to roll on up and we are finding our way into a teaser. So we're squeezing in the core, the knees are lifting, the shins are parallel with the mat. Planting the hands behind you if you need to, holding on around the backs of the legs if you need to. Squeezing the core, we're just going to lift up there. Nice static hold, focusing on gauging the core. Lift, lift, lift. Find that power there. Well done. 3, 2, and 1. Release. Alright, from there we're going to start off with the hands behind us. Press the chest, lift on up, lift up the feet, and we're going to take a little bicycle with the legs. So we're just thinking about bicycling forwards, squeezing the core. Nice little bit of mobility, powering forwards, keep the chest lifting. Imagine that someone is pressing into that lower back and pressing the tummy button forwards. 3, 2, changing direction. So knees into the chest. Surprisingly difficult, weirdly. 3, 2, 1. Come down onto the forearms. Press the chest up. And once again, we're cycling forwards. Squeezing the core. For 3, 2, 1. Changing direction. Knees coming back into the chest. 3, 2, 1. Lower back down to the floor. Shoulders relax. Cycling forwards with the legs. Keeping the lower back on the floor. Making sure the lower back is onto the floor. Squeeze the core to achieve that. Cycling forwards. Slow and controlled. 3, 2, 1. Changing direction. Knees moving back in towards the chest. Lower back is on the floor. Shoulders relaxed. 3, 2, 1. And release. Well done. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little stretch. And from there, just extending the right foot out long on the mat, hugging the left knee in, and we're just going to take a little twist. Right hand to the left knee, drawing the left knee across the body, and opening the left arm away. So we're stretching out long, letting the left shoulder relax, breathing into the outside of the left leg, finding space in the outside of the left side body. Deep breaths in. And for 3, inhaling. Exhaling, so just a little bit of release and stretch. 2. 1 more, inhale. And exhale, transition. Left leg extends. Hug in with right knee and take that little twist. So left hand to right knee, bring the right knee across the body, opening out with the right arm, finding that lovely release to the chest, or through the outside of the right leg. Deep breaths in. And out. For 3, inhale. Exhale. Shoulders relaxed. 2. 1 more deep breath with me, tap the other toe down. So nice and easy, slow and controlled. If you're feeling it, take it into the double. So slow tap, slow lift. Keeping the lower back on the floor, keeping that power through the abs. Option to stay there, option to tap, extend away like you're pushing something off the edge of the mat and then glide on up. So options there, single toe tap, knee in line with knee. Take it slow, it can be really powerful and effective just working here if you keep the lower back on the floor and you maintain control. You can make it harder by tapping both toes down, slowly tapping down, making sure the lower back is on the floor, particularly when the feet start to come to the floor. That's the hardest bit of the movement, so you really want to focus on that power there. Option to take it into a tap and scoop, working with control there, entirely up to you. So we're working here for 5. Slow, controlled movements. 4, pressing away, driving on up with the knees. 3. So any variations. Remember you can switch around. 2. And 1, well done. Give yourself a little squeeze. From there we're going to take the soles of the feet together. Knees are falling outward. And we're just going to take some froggy bridge glute presses here. So a really awesome bridge variation. So soles of the feet together, we're going to power on up. You'll get lovely opening through the hips and you'll get some really fiery work for the glutes. So it's squeezing on up and then slowly controlling that lower. So powerful squeezy press on up with that opening through the hips. Engage the core to slowly lower. So taking the quads out of the cage in here, we're using just the glutes really to find that power on the lift and on the lower. So powerful squeezy lift, controlling that lower. Working here for 5, so we're not going to be here too long. We're finding some power in the glutes. And we're using this as a little bit of prep work for our froggy sit-ups next. 4, squeeze, lift and lower. 3, 2, and 1. From here, we're going to take the hands out in front of us, little prayer hands. So fingertips are pointing towards the toes. Chin to chest, and we're going to squeeze, take a little curl with froggy legs, and lower down again. So this is a really, really, really strong, powerful variation of a sit-up. You're working into that lower abs, and you have to really use the abs to lift because the feet are grounded here. You can't use any swing. As always, if that's too much, heels into bum. You're taking a reverse curl if that's better for you. So if sit-up type movements don't work for you for your neck, then you're taking a reverse curl instead. If you're feeling strong, she says, hoping she can demonstrate this, hands come over the head, and we can take this into a full sit-up. So chin to chest, lifting, reaching all the way forwards, and then slowly, slowly, slowly lowering down. So nice little variation. Taking chin to chest first, keeping the feet grounded, coming all the way up. If you're feeling really strong, the hands stay out in front of you all the way of this movement. So you're taking chin to chest, lifting up, reaching forwards, and rolling down again. You're not letting the hands come over the head. Remember, you want to control the lower back down just as much as the lift. You want to feel that power. As always, remember, it's chin to chest is really important here. You don't want to jerk the neck. You want to focus on maintaining that power coming from the abdominals. Nice work. We're almost there. This is our final exercise, and then we'll take a few little stretches. Working here for 5. Powerful lift and slow controlled lower. 4, 3, really strong and controlled. 2, nice. And 1, release. Nice work. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little stretch. And from there, taking a happy baby. So if you want to, you can just take the hands to the knees and just draw the knees outside the chest, letting the hips open, or you can also take the peace sign fingers around the big toes, or holding onto the outer edges of the feet, soles of the feet to the sky, having a little stretch out, thinking about pressing the lumbar spine to the floor, the shoulders releasing down the back. Deep breaths in. And shoulders relaxing. Back of the neck long, full steady breaths in. And out here. Inhale. And exhaling for 3, Find that lovely stretch down the inside of the legs. 2. 1 more, inhale. And exhale, release. Simply letting the legs extend long, extending the hands out over the head. Give yourself a lovely full body wiggle, a little wiggle out with the feet, a little shimmy out with the hips. Inhale. And exhale, let the whole body relax. 1 more time. Extend out with the hands and the feet. Inhale, give yourself a little wiggle, a little shake. Inhale. And exhale, relax. Close the eyes. And we'll just take 3 breaths here. Chilling out, letting the whole body relax. Inhale. Exhaling, letting the body soften. 2. 1 more, inhale. Exhale. From there, we're just going to draw the knees up. Give yourself a little rock and roll, a little squidge in. And rock and roll your way all the way up to seated. Awesome stuff. So just quick little stretch, interlocking the hands, press up to the sky, shoulders down the back, lovely big stretch up there. Inhale. Exhale. Pressing the backs of the hands towards the front of the room, drawing the shoulders down and back, stretching out through the upper back. Deep breath in. And give yourself a little shoulder roll. Have a little shimmy out. And when you're ready, inhale, lift up tall. Exhale the hands back to heart center. And have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you very much. Namaste. Well done.